This is TheTravelBallDad.com outside on a beautiful day in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm glad to have my guest today, Tavis Piattoly, down in New Orleans today. Tavis, welcome.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thanks, John, for having me. Appreciate it.
It's such a great day. I'm normally in the office, but I wanted to get out and get some fresh air. So great day to have a conversation about sports and nutrition.
Well, where I am, it's Mardi Gras Day, and
it is Fat Tuesday. What are you doing inside?
Yeah, no. I celebrated on the Friday and Saturday before. It's a little chaotic today. I didn't want to bring my daughter out. She'll be 7 next month, but we do parades on the weekends, not today.
Cool. Well, Tavis and I got connected via Sports Moms United. Beth Jessup got us connected. She does some great things and thought that us two engaging might be a good thing as well for the parents that follow the Travel Ball Dad. I've got a son who's in 8th grade, and he came to me recently and said, Dad, I want to start taking this supplement or that supplement because so-and-so's doing it and they're getting big and so I said, hang on tight. Let's do some research on this. And what it did was lead me to Tavis here. And Tavis has a pretty significant resume that I'd like him to share with us. He's got a couple different entities that I think would be valuable to the sports parents that follow the TravelBallDad.com. Tavis, you have the floor.
Yeah, so I guess the best way to describe what I do, I'm a sports dietitian. People know what dietitians are, but we have a large conglomerate of people like myself that work with athletes in sports. So we decided to work the sports right. I spent 8 years with the New Orleans Saints as their sports dietitian from 2006 to 13, the New Orleans Pelicans basketball team, Tulane Athletics for 14 years. And now I work full-time for a company called the Hooton Foundation, where I get to go around the country and educate high schools, colleges, universities, conferences about the dangers of appearance and performance-enhancing drugs, dietary supplement safety, because I'm not anti-supplement, but most importantly, teaching them how to solve a problem with nutrition. And then finally, I'm a co-owner of a company called My Sports Dietitian, where our goal is to develop digital products, and we have an app that's launching that is really to help individuals achieve a healthy weight, but also have energy and recover and just understand how to change their eating habits the right way without trying to figure out that a pill or a powder is not going to solve your problem.
You know, that's awesome. For this discussion, what I'd like to do is talk about the foundation for a little bit and then really drill down onto My Sports D and how these parents can help their kids have a tool to help them eat better, take the vitamins and supplements that are going to get them to where they want to get to, and just kind of go over that as well. So if you can talk about the foundation for a little bit and the things you're doing there, and then we'll roll into My Sports D.
Yeah, Taylor Hooton Foundation is a wonderful organization. Taylor Hooton was a young boy and baseball player back in right outside of Dallas in 2003. Like a lot of young kids today, his coach told him he needed to gain 20 to 30 pounds if he wanted to be the #1 pitcher on the varsity team. Unfortunately, that coach didn't give him any resources. And I always tell coaches, don't give your kids a weight or tell them to do this or that without giving them a resource on how to do that. He went and looked for those resources with his peers. He realized half his guys on his team were using anabolic steroids. And unfortunately, 6 months after, making the uneducated decision to use anabolic steroids, he took his own life. So as an organization now, we go out, we probably speak to, a couple of 100,000 people each year on the dangers of steroids, human growth hormone, but also talk about dietary supplement safety, because we also know there's over 12.5 million middle and high school students today using dietary supplements. I'm not anti-supplement, but for the most part, most supplements don't work. It's a big scam. So we'll talk about that at some point and what that means. And it's not going to solve a problem with which most of these kids today don't really do well, is they don't eat well. But since they don't eat well and they're not getting bigger and stronger, they think taking something is going to help fix that, and it doesn't. Which leads to our last topic. And with our organization, we also talk about how to solve that problem with nutrition. What are the right principles and habits you need to practice if your goal is going to do that?
That's a sad story about Taylor, but I understand it's tough. But having the resources available to others may help prevent something like that. On that note, Tavis, what are some resources for parents if they have questions or to help mitigate that, to help learn about the proper eating habits and proper ways to proper supplements that, are certified, things of that nature? Where can they go to look?
Yeah, and I have a lot of parents today. They'll call and say, what can my son take? And the first question I have is, or even daughters, I say, well, what are they eating? Let's talk about their diet first, because there's no magic pill. There are things that have scientific evidence that could help. I'm a big fan. I start every kid out, and just to give you a background, I work with a lot of major league players, pitchers, position players, that they don't really supplement that much. And actually, the rule with Major League Baseball right now, inside those clubhouses, if there's a supplement in there, it has to be certified by NSF. And that means basically NSF is a third-party testing company where companies pay a lot of money to make sure whatever they're putting in their product is clean. There's no banned substances, because if you see a guy test positive for something, it means one of two things. He's taking something he knows he shouldn't be taking, or there's something in his supplement that is a banned substance, and that's how things happen. So NSF, it keeps those products clean. It doesn't mean the product is going to work, because honestly, most products are not going to do anything for you. That's just the way they're designed, because it's a very money-made driven industry. Pre-workouts, a lot of your anabolic agents or a lot of your muscle building products are not going to do much to build strength. If you're not eating enough calories to support the amount of activity these kids are doing today, there's no supplement that can fix that. And creatine, which is a very well-researched supplement, over 3,000 studies done in athletic performance, and 70% of them show some sort of benefit. If your kid's under eating their calories, and a lot of our baseball kids today do way too much. I talked to a sophomore yesterday, and his mom and dad, he's trying to gain weight. He's 5'10", he's 155 pounds. He's already committed to a D1 school that offered him a full scholarship as a sophomore in high school, as a shortstop. But when I looked at his exercise, he's doing 5 to 6 hours a day of movement. Anything more than 3 is way too much, because you're not going to be able to build muscle that way, because you're not going to be able to get the calories. So it's important that we focus on food first, and then supplements, a good quality multivitamin and a fish oil for recovery, and maybe a good third-party certified protein powder. And then everything else after that is really, it depends on the athlete's individual goals.
The marketing teams with the supplement companies have done a great job, right? They get them thinking one way, and whereas if you focus on eating right, that's a big push in the right direction. And there may be some other pieces that to help fill those voids, but we get lost in that. I get lost in that based on the things you see and hear. But it's nice to be reminded by a professional like yourself that a good foundation of eating healthy goes a long way.
Yeah, it's a secret weapon, but it's the piece of the puzzle we don't think about. Most of us are saying, well, let's invest more money in getting my son a hitting coach, or getting him a trainer, or doing more exercise. Well, what about his diet? Because that's the foundation. If you can train as much as you want, but if you go into a game or anything under-fueled, you're probably not going to reach your full potential. And I'll give some examples later of kids I've worked with and where they were before their diet and where they were after a year later, and what did that do to their performance. Again, it's hard to measure that, but at the same time, we know diet is kind of the secret weapon that's going to help them get to that next level.
Wonderful. Well, can you kind of give us some information about My Sports Dietitian and what you're doing on that side? And that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, so this was a company about 8 years ago. The concept came about. I met a high school athletic trainer. I spoke at the Louisiana Athletic Trainers Association conference, and he reached out and said, I got kids coming up to me every day going, Doc, how do I gain weight? What supplements can I take? And he goes, I'm so busy with sports medicine and trying to treat kids, I don't really have a lot of time. And he goes, I think this is a problem across the country with high school kids are just starved for information on how to get bigger, stronger, or just do better in their sport. And so we launched My Sports Dietitian about 5 years ago as an online company to provide education. We don't sell supplements. We're strictly education. And we started with podcasts, and we started with webinars and ebooks. But then we realized last year, about a year and a half ago, there was one thing missing in the nutrition industry for education. There was no app that taught you how much to eat and what based on how much you do and what your body weight goals are. So we developed an app called Eat to Win. It's actually live in the Google Play Store now. You can download it for free. It will be in the Apple Store very, very soon. We're just waiting on one correction that the Apple wanted us to do, and we're working on that. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a great way to solve a problem. You can go to mysportsd.com and then click on Eat to Win, and then you can see what the app, all the features of the app. It's going to be really, really fun. We feel it's going to help solve a lot of problems with giving kids and moms and parents and consumers the tool to really help improve behavior.
That's wonderful. What's the cost on that app, Tavis?
Oh, it's so expensive. It's free.
How can you not want that? All right. Wonderful. Parents, download the app. Kids, download the app. Can the parents kind of help their kids, monitor what they're doing and collaboratively?
So one of the key features inside the app is called our Nutrition Monitor. And that person can be anybody that is involved with the changing in behavior or development of an individual, not just an athlete. Athletes were their original goal, but Nutrition Monitor can be a dietitian, a strength coach, an athletic trainer, a mom and dad, So when someone downloads the app, and usually we have it where it has to be 14 years and above, 14 years of age and older. We may change those restrictions at some point, but we think that's a good starting point. They can be friends with their son or daughter, and then that child or athlete can invite their parents or whoever to be their nutrition monitor. So instead of logging their food like a lot of your common apps today, MyFitnessPal, et cetera, they're tracking tools. People hate doing that. No one likes to log in everything they eat for the day and it says, oh, you ate too much or you ate too little. They just want to know how much to eat and when. So when you take a picture of your food, your mom or your dad or whoever is going to see that, we can give you feedback. So if I'm your sports dietitian, I can say, John, you really need more protein there. Oh, that was a great breakfast, but where was this or that? I would have liked to see this instead of that. That way we constantly giving you feedback. And one of the cool things is you score points inside the app. So we have it to where it's gamified, but we're going to have challenges at some point that incentivize users for doing a lot of stuff inside the app.
That's awesome. I'm excited to begin using it for both myself and my kids and report back. So that's a great tool. Congratulations on bringing that to market.
Thanks.
What are some, before we I don't want to take too much of your time today, but what I do want to leave with is providing parents an opportunity to find you. Can they engage you directly if there's a need? Do you offer services like that to where they can make appointments and things like that? Tavis?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to reach out and ever have questions, they can always email me directly at Piattoly. Let me spell that real quick. That's T as in Tom, P as in Paul, I-A, T as in Tom, O-L-Y, at mysportsd.com, mysports and the letter D.com. They can reach out and ask any questions that they have about their son or daughter. And if they need something more customized, that's what the app's going to be for. So, but sometimes people want some customization and we can help with that as well.
And from the foundation perspective on your speaking circuit, do you have your schedule set for 2018?
No, we're always adding more schools and locations where we can come and speak to that school, that college, whatever it is. We love working with any organization. I just got back. I say got back. Little League Baseball was actually here in New Orleans for their conference about a month ago. So I met a lot of coaches. Obviously, that's a younger group, but we do a lot of traveling. I'm actually going to be heading to Rhode Island soon for our partnership and working with those schools. We visit every Major League Baseball stadium over the summer for our play programs to do education. So, yeah, it's not completely set. We're always adding new dates and new speaking engagements to our calendar on a daily basis.
Well, when you go to Cincinnati, we'll have to coordinate something and bring our kids up there. Both my kids are involved in multiple organizations that would benefit from your message. So we'll get together. We'll get together and make that happen. Well, Tavis, I don't want to take a lot of your time. You've given some valuable information today in a short amount of time, and I know you're busy. But let's not let this be the last time we talk. Let's keep getting together and providing valuable content to the parents, because it is something that, it is the most important thing probably to helping these athletes perform and be healthy. Winning and that's secondary. Be healthy. If you're healthy, you're going to perform better, and it all kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah, John, anytime you want me on, I'm happy to do it. There's if you want me weekly, monthly, whatever it is, I just love doing this stuff. And I think it's a great way to give people, trusted information. There's so much information out there when it comes to nutrition, whether it's, eat a ketogenic diet or don't eat this and don't eat that. It's like, we just have to be realistic and provide sound nutrition advice and not try to figure out what can I take to fix a problem. It's all diet based. If you really take care of, and I'll close on a final example with a baseball kid I worked with out of Houston in 2004. Here's a kid that was 6'5", 170 pounds. He was a pitcher, so tall and skinny, doing a lot of exercise, but not eating well. No breakfast in the morning. He ate the school lunch. Then he went to baseball practice for 3 hours. Then he went to a private trainer for an hour and a half to do strength and conditioning. And then he ate a big dinner and went to bed. And all we did was really change his eating. We ate a balanced breakfast, had a snack in between breakfast, lunch, brought school lunch to school. He had a snack during baseball. He had a snack after baseball, shortened his dinner a little bit, and then had a shake before bed. And in 15 months, he went from 170 to 230. And his body fat went down. And his fastball went from 83 to 97. And he's going to be pitching this year, hopefully, at Vanderbilt.
What's his name?
His name is, now, of course you're going to ask me
I put you on the spot. I'm sorry, but Vadi's not.
Joe Gobolo. His name's Joe Gobolo. So I probably shouldn't say his name. I didn't get a parent approval. But, you can go to Vanderbilt, a baseball roster. You'll see Joe there. I don't know where – he's a freshman. I don't know what he's going to do this year. But, he's done – And that's just an example of kid bringing food to school. The only supplements he took was a fish oil and multivitamin. So there's no magic pill. That's what I try to tell these parents. There's nothing legal that's magical that's going to fix and solve a problem. If your kid's not eating breakfast, if your kid's skipping meals, they're not going to build muscle. They're not going to see results. And creatine's not going to fix that, and protein powder's not going to fix that. So there's so many misconceptions, and none of these supplement companies can solve that problem with that.
Invaluable information, Tavis. I can't thank you enough, man.
Anytime.
We'll keep talking and keep bringing this good content to the parents and players, but have a great Mardi Gras, rest of Mardi Gras, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? But hang on one second. We'll finish up.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Tavis. Hang on.